episode number 261, Spring 2020 Camaro Talk. Welcome to the Camaro Show,
a podcast about all things Camaro and GM performance news.
I'm Chris Frezza.
And I'm Jason Debler.
We're your hosts for this week's episode of the Camaro Show. Want to be part of our show? It's easy.
Just leave a message on our voicemail hotline at 586-486-3182.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey, welcome back, everyone, for another exciting episode of the Camaro Show. I'm Chris.
I'm Jason.
What's up, dude?
That's same old stuff, just hanging out in the house, working, living, breathing, eating, sleeping in the house. Don't leave the house.
Living the quarantine life.
Get me out of this house. We hope everybody else is doing well and not going stir crazy. I've had issues where I'm just like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hanging in there, man.
Same.
Yeah.
Haven't been doing a whole heck of a lot, except, I've moved work to home and, still doing the YouTube thing with Vito, and that's it. That's it, really. I miss the normality of life. That's what I miss, though.
Yeah.
The daily grind.
I agree. I typically stay home anyway. The wife and I would go out once a week for dinner or something like that, and I do miss doing that a lot. It's just a little weird. I guess I don't know. Is it? What do you think? Do you think it's getting better? Do you think it's getting worse?
So I hope it's getting better.
What do you think is doing? That's the question.
I don't know. I stopped watching the news because they just tell you what they want to evoke fear and panic. I think.
Yeah.
This many more dead. This many more dead. News at 11 to talk about more people who died, but they're not telling you about all the people who are getting well.
That's true.
Which far exceed the people who are actually dying from this. And then doing the everybody keeps talking about, well, they're not using or science. They keep saying science. People, you can't avoid the science. Well, right, you can't.
Science.
But you can also compare it to other things like the flu, this things that people are dying from normally. Stop trying to scare people. That's my problem. And that's why the only time I turn my TV on is to turn on either Netflix or Disney Plus or YouTube.
Yep. And boy, I tell you what, those guys are doing all right.
I bet.
So, but again, we hope everybody's doing well here.
Yeah.
We've got lots to talk about today since we switched to a monthly format.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ton of Camaro manufacturer news.
No, everything's closed. I mean, everything's
closed,
shut down.
Speaking of shutting down, our friends down under are losing the Camaro. It's the Camaro production has reached the end of the line, courtesy of our friends at Camaro News.
So they were producing. They were doing what the swaps from HSV,
the right-hand conversion.
Mm-hmm. And it was introduced in 2018, the Camaro SS, and then they got the ZL1 as well, and they were doing the factory swap from right-hand drive or left-hand drive to right-hand drive, and it looks like that's done. It's done.
It's a bummer. It's not surprising. I mean, sales are down for everything, and they're just cutting corners, I guess. Cutting budget, cutting where they can.
Yeah. Looks like the Mustangs, they're huge slide in sales as well.
I think everything is except liquor and online services.
Liquor and and Netflix.
It's true. Everybody should watch Ozark. We started watching Ozark. That's a bummer. I guess, is it surprising?
Is it surprising? No.
I mean, even without it.
I didn't know if there was a huge demand down under for the Camaro.
Yeah. Even without Corona just freaking out the world and everything, I wonder if it wasn't going to happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was expensive. It was already expensive to begin with, and then it was expensive for the conversion.
Right.
So Rough rocks. But
Hmm.
if you can't get one in Australia, but you still want a new Camaro, how's about what year is this one here? 2001. A guy on LS1 Tech was selling a 2001 Camaro SS with 884 original miles on it.
This thing's brand new.
Yeah,
Brand spanking new.
that's just weird. Everybody was kind of freaking out a little bit on it though, because it did have a Pontiac Firebird bezel in the instrument cluster.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And I put one manually in my 2002 Camaro. But everybody's questioning that, saying, listen, if it's bone stock, why does this have this?
Do you think they accidentally got a cluster out of a Firebird instead?
It could have happened. I mean, they did go down the same assembly line.
Right.
But if I remember right, the Camaro cluster had, and I can't remember exactly what it was, there was a certain indicator light that would, in the Camaro cluster, that was covered by the Firebird bezel. If I remember right, I'm trying to remember that.
Man, this is like a beautiful. This car is perfect.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You know, I still have stuff in my closet here from my two 4th gen Camaro SSs that I owned.
Uh-huh.
SLP gave you some stuff with the car, like the key rings?
The fobs?
I think it's not the actual fob, but I think it was the SLP or Camaro SS key ring. I think that came with it in a little envelope. So I think I have those. And then I also have the floor mats from two different. I had a 2000 Camaro SS, and I also had a 2002 Camaro SS. So I have both the floor mats.
Really?
The SS floor mats in the original plastic, because I never used them. I took them home and I threw them in the closet, and I forgot about them. So I still have them too.
Wow, you might want to off those.
I wonder if I could get anything for them.
I'm sure you would, especially for somebody that buys a car like this.
Huh. Interesting.
So,
remote CD changer with 12 disc magazine. I'm looking at the options.
Just close your eyes and think of the sound that a 12 disc changer would make when you plug it in. Clunk. Almost like the sound of a VHS tape when you put it in the VCR. So, the dude wants quite a bundle for this car.
Oh, does he?
It appears like it's still for sale. $29,000 is what the asking price is. Located in Las Vegas. Still, I'm looking over the thread about it. Definitely some discussion. Around
the original stickers around 26.
Well, that's before the SLP conversion.
No, the 21,645 for the car.
Yep.
1,715 for the equipment, 3,950 for the SS stuff.
It looks like he updated by removing the bezel. I'm looking now it shows pictures of without the bezel.
Oh,
I think. I don't know. I'd have to go through the thread to see what happened. Maybe he's like, yeah, I don't know. Every car has a story, and maybe he bought it from his dad. His dad bought it, never drove it, passed away, or decided he didn't want it or something. Made one mod, and then that was it.
it's cool.
It is pretty cool. So if you want, oh wow, somebody else is selling something really interesting on LS1 Tech. Ooh, this says GMMG Blackbird PR1.
A Blackbird?
It's a prototype, number 1.
Wow.
Remember GMMG Blackbirds?
Oh, of course I do. Of course.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at these at the thread, and it's all nothing but to the top, to the top, to the top, to the top.
I really honestly I'm not interested in buying it, so I'm not criticizing the guy's price, but I'm predicting he won't be able to sell it for that. That's a lot of money for a car that, yeah, it's great condition and everything, but that's as much as it's stickered for, basically.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I think my 2002 Camaro SS with just about everything was $32,000.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, crazy. Good luck to him, though. I hope he sells it. I mean, I hope somebody gets their hands on it. And
this is nice to look at too.
It is neat. Remember when that color first came out?
Oh,
we broke the scoop on it.
Me and you cornered this dude at the Camaro Street Nationals, a GM employee. We're like, hey, can we get some pictures of this car? And then I just came across those pictures not too long ago. I got pictures of you with the guy as well.
Oh, his name was John. Well, I think it's okay to say his last name now. John Dolch. I remember his name.
Wow.
Yeah, we were the first to drive the LS1 Camaro, and it was just sitting there, like nobody was paying attention to it. It was off in the parking lot at the Warren GM Tech Center.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, there's a car show going on, and there's an LS1 Camaro, brand new, just sitting over there.
We're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what is that? Cool. Let's go talk to him. John Dolch. I hope he's still around. He was a super cool guy. Tell you what, third gear in that thing was like, oh yeah,
that was fun.
Yep. Ah man, reminiscing about that. We could do that all day long. Let's see here. Let's talk about some video stuff.
Yeah.
Our friend Sean from Oceanside, sent us this YouTube video, and we're not going to get into it too much, but we encourage, since we're talking about Camaros in the old days. Remember when the '98 Camaro came out, Chris?
I can't forget.
Lost their lid on how it looked like a catfish and blah 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 blah.
GM ruined it. They're going out of business. Blah blah blah. Who the hell would ever do this?
And then when people were clicking off 12.9s,
stock, bone stock.
Not all of them, but some of them. Eric Connolly did.
Yeah, I remember going to Milan and seeing him run a 13.2, his first run. And I'm like, what the 13.2? I mean, that was hard in a LT1 with a lot of bolt-ons to do 13.2.
Yeah, I think I did a 13.4 with bolt-ons there when we went to London, Ontario.
Okay.
But everybody still hated the front end. People did Photoshop jobs making it look like it had catfish, eyes and whiskers and all that. But Donut Media, and this is a good video, Sean. Thank you for sending this in. Is such a cool, I don't know where they get their name from. There's probably a story that I missed. A YouTube video that was published here last month called Why Everyone is Wrong About the Catfish Camaro. And this is definitely worth a watch, especially if you're just interested in Camaro history and trends and things like what we're talking about. I just want to make sure that, Sean, we recognize that you sent that. Thank you very much for doing so. And we encourage everybody to watch this video. There's another Donut Media video we'll get to later on in the episode we're going to talk about as well. But speaking of videos, how's about our buddy, the Spielberg to be, Casey J. Porter?
Casey, good dude. He's been doing videos with Camaro stuff since the 5th gen came back. Mm-hmm. And that's where we met him and became real good friends with him. And he has transitioned to YouTube as well, doing his show that we talked about, I think it was last year when he first put out this episode. Let's see. So now he's taking his videos and he's moving them to Facebook as well. So you have probably saw it this past week. I shared one of his his first Camaro video that he did on his YouTube channel on Facebook. So that's why we're talking about it now, is just moving everything over to Facebook. So we told Casey, heck yeah, we'll support you. He does great work, high quality, and great editing. So, but I mean, he's a professional. That's what he does for a living.
He's made a lot of cool videos that we've talked about over the years.
Return of the Camaro, I remember, was one of them. Mm-hmm. Met him at SEMA.
Yep. I think he deserves a lot more recognition than he gets. His channel, Combustion Chambers. There's a whole. I'll be the first to say this. There's a whole lot of garbage car videos out there.
Yeah. And
I could gripe about him for a half an hour straight. There's just crap out there, but he makes such awesomely produced videos that are
quality.
Genuine. What's that?
Quality.
Yeah. It's not just, hey, here's me and here's my cars and here's my buddy and here's some parts. He does real videos, real content, and he needs more recognition. So we encourage everybody to check out his stuff, man, please.
Absolutely. We're going to link that up, his YouTube channel, as well as his new Facebook page that he's made for it, where he's putting out all the videos as well.
Yep. Keep it up, Casey. Hey, dude, I'm getting excited for SEMA this year. What about you?
Well, this past week, registration went out for media to register for the event. Or was it last week? And let's talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't think SEMA's going to happen this year. SEMA may disagree with me right now. In fact, their PR team has already been out doing other podcasts saying, listen, guys, we're doing the show. We're full speed ahead. There's over 2,000 exhibitors already signed up. What statistics they did share also is that I think I don't want to misspeak, but I think it was around 40% of exhibitors come from overseas, and of those 40%, over 20% of them were from China.
Oh, that.
So they don't know what's going to happen there. They also said they have because the podcast I was listening to, the guy put it bluntly, like, what's your drop dead date you're looking at to cancel SEMA? And he's like, listen, we've got 3 windows. We've got a 90, a 60, and a 30-day window out before we cancel, if we were to even think about it. But the way they're saying is the industry's still been working, even though they've been shut down. They think people have still been working on cars. So who knows? There's so many external forces that come into play here for SEMA. I don't think SEMA can just say, yep, we're going to do this, blah, 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 blah.
Gosh.
Everybody in the industry is raring to go, and that's great and all. But if you can't get a room in Las Vegas, if you have to stand 6 feet apart, if if so many people are afraid of traveling, they just had a report come out this week. There's the largest convention in Las Vegas every January is CES, the Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah.
They said that many people who went to that show and went back to Silicon Valley brought COVID-19 with them. They're thinking a lot of people at CES. Another thing why, with traveling, they keep saying, why does Detroit have so many cases?
Yeah.
Detroit is a huge hub for international travel. That's why so many people come here traveling. And then, of course, you have the auto industry. People are always traveling.
Business.
That's the reason why. The third largest state in COVID cases, but I mean, we only have 10 million people in the state. So SEMA's got to be looking at travel, logistics, lodging, Las Vegas in itself, and then, of course, the external, what is the CDC going to be saying? What is the government going to be saying? How is the local, not only Nevada, but the city of Las Vegas in itself, what are they going to be saying? Vegas is going to be hit hard. Very, very hard after this is all said and done.
I'm not planning on going.
No. I've already said this. I'm not going. I didn't register for it. And I fully predict that if SEMA does happen this year, it will become a virtual event.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Because let's face it, SEMA is a time for people to get together and make business deals for the year.
Right.
Why couldn't SEMA facilitate a virtual event like that,
Oh gosh, it'd be impossible. I can't get somebody to stay 6 inches away from me, much less 6 feet at SEMA.
I don't foresee it happening unless all of a sudden they come out with a vaccine and we don't have to do the social distancing anymore and testing's widely available, which I don't foresee happening till 2021 anyways.
Well, if we all became bleach-eating freaks, then we could, be all cured. Wasn't Bleach Eating Freaks a weird company that made our first photo post script, CGI or Pearl script for our first rendition? No, Shaven Ferret. That was the name of the guy that made the photo post script.
Oh my God.
For CamaroZ28.com in 1996.
Wow.
Remember that? Shaven Ferret was the name of the programmer.
From
But what is
COVID-19 to
bleach eating
shaven
freaks?
ferret.
I leave it up to me to go off on a tangent. But anyway, yeah, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not expecting it
I'm
to
really
be.
hoping for the best.
I get SEMA and PRI emails, and I think they're owned by the same company.
Yeah.
They're put on by the same, and the message is about the same.
Yeah.
My concern is that this is a lot of companies, many of them are owners of these companies, are friends of mine. They depend on the SEMA and PRI to continue to spur their sales and their deals and everything. This is going to hurt them. It's going to make their prices go up. People are going to be falling out of love with their cars because they can't go racing.
That's why I feel it's going to turn into a virtual event.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if companies aren't going to let their employees travel for fear of them, contracting something, they can put the event on and nobody's going to show up.
Oh, boy. Well, I still hope for the best. I see glimmers of hope amongst the noise, and there's a lot of noise out there.
Yeah.
I see glimmers of hope, and I see glimmers of progress, and I see people doing the right thing. And honestly, canceling SEMA, as it stands right now, in my opinion, is the right thing.
Right.
Sorry to say. The truth can suck.
Right. You don't want to give people false hopes, too. Especially if businesses are really, really relying on this. Like, we need SEMA. And they're like, don't worry, we're going to have it. And then 30 days out, they're going to be like, we're out, we can't do it. It would be nice of them to say, we are planning moving forward, yes, but we have contingent plans for XXX moving forward as well.
Yep.
So,
hope for the best.
Yeah.
So other things that were canceled. We stay in tune with our friend Al Oppenheiser, former chief engineer of the 6th gen Camaro. They had to postpone their Hummer reveal.
They did. We figured that was coming.
Yep.
It was supposed to be May 20th?
I think so, yeah. And they postponed it. They did put out a very quiet teaser video, 17-second teaser video of a quiet Hummer looking like object from drone height.
Yes.
Driving through the woods. Again, hoping for the best on this one. I think this is going to be cool. I'm kind of excited about it. At first I was Hummer, come on. But now I'm like, Al? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, then. What's in the name? I'll tell you what. Al's got the name.
I'm looking forward to this.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Hey, let's get on to one of my favorite parts of doing this show, the voicemail. It's been almost a month since we did a show. We got to have, 20 or 30 voicemails to get through?
Here, let me check.
Okay.
We don't have one.
What?
We don't have any. I'm sorry.
Well, everybody's probably been occupied with other things. We love hearing from you guys. We love your comments about what we talk about, and we love your suggestions on what we should talk about, or we just love hearing you guys say hi. Chris, you want to tell them how they can do that?
Here's how.
Hey, want to be part of this show?
Well, we want to hear from you.
Just hit our digits at 586-486-3182, 24 hours a day.
Leave us a message, and we'll feature it in an upcoming show.
So what are you waiting for? Do it now.
Yeah, do it now. Even though we do the show once a month, these are all queued up and ready to go.
Yep, we won't forget about them.
No, of course not.
Can't believe we didn't have one.
Not a single one.
That's right. Going back to videos and history and reminiscing and everything. I mentioned this before. Donut Media, I still got to figure out where they come up with their name. Speaking of which, I saw them at PRI and at SEMA wearing their donut shirts.
Really?
Cool guys. Yeah, they make really good videos. Like Casey Porter, they make very good videos. And they made one that came up in my feed. I think this video summed up everything we've tried to sum up in the history of doing this podcast for 15 years now, Chris?
Okay.
It's not been that long, has it?
What, the podcast?
14 years.
Yeah.
14 years. The title is Mustang versus Camaro, Who Won Each Decade, 1960s through today. And, gosh, Chris, you and I could spend an entire episode playing this video and then pausing it at key points to comment on their comments.
Yeah.
It's so well done, and it's really neat. I don't agree with their scoring, but I'm biased.
Yeah.
But it's really neat to see decade for decade how the Camaro and Mustang battled it out, and the things that influenced the leaps forward and the steps back for each car, and how they compared with each other along the same timeline. And this is definitely worth a watch, for sure.
How long is the video?
I think it's 20 minutes long. I don't remember. 10, 20 minutes. Okay. Let me see here. 21 minutes. I'll read the description just to tease you in it. They got 3.4 million subscribers. They're doing something right. Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro, two of the most iconic American muscle cars of all time. But which is better? Carroll Shelby's GT500 or the Camaro ZL1 1LE? The IROC Z or the Mustang SSP? Which pony car had a better V8 engine? Can Chevy's 1LS? 1LS? Okay.
Wow,
beat the
great.
Ford Coyote 5.0? This video is the best place on the internet to find the answers. Versus put two automotive giants toe-to-toe, and Joey Razul tallies up the points to see who's the victor. Anything from heritage, performance, and even availability are taken into consideration. This is a must-watch.
Cool.
It's a good video, even though they got the 1LS thing wrong. I don't think anybody clicked the read more in the description and caught that.
Hopefully they just fat-fingered that when they're typing it in.
No, these guys know their stuff. They really do. This is the same guys that made the video about how everybody was wrong about the Catfish Camaro.
Cool. I will link that up in the show notes.
Yeah. What else we got to talk about? Oh, I don't know. I thought this was funny.
Okay.
Forbes came out with an article not too long ago.
Good old Forbes.
Good Forbes. You know, they know money, right?
Right.
Vehicles with the worst resale values.
Yeah.
Guess what was number 16?
The Camaro.
How'd you guess? Their comments are, let me load this up. With a redesigned Camaro not being released until 2016, and a revamped Ford Mustang kicking its posterior in the meantime, 2015 models can be expected to lose 39% of its original MSRP after 1 year. Another sparsely populated segment, the Camaro received 2 circles for overall quality, overall design quality, powertrain design quality, body interior design quality, and features/accessories design quality.
For the 2015? For the 5th gen?
I guess that's what they're talking about. I mean, they've got a picture of the
5th gen.
Yeah.
It's that commemorative edition is the one that they're showing in the picture too.
You know,
from 2015.
I don't want to throw stones at anybody who worked on the Camaro, but is there a defining trend from when well, I guess I hate to say this out loud even, when it left Oshawa and went to Lansing of quality, and is that a definer, or is it just it just seemed like when it went to the 6th gen it just went downhill. I don't know why, it just seems that way to me.
Well, I think, and this they're talking about is the 2015, so it's a 5th gen. So, and they said in other spots, the Camaro received 2 circles for, but is it for the 5th gen or is it for the 6th gen?
Or is it just for over?
Right.
Wait a minute. When was this article written?
Oh God.
Well, I mean, it came across in my feed, so I guess it's got to be
newish.
I would think so. Let me double check that. Maybe I'm gonna have to have you edit this out. You know what? It doesn't have a freaking date on it. It doesn't have a single date on it.
On the article?
Yeah. Let me see here if it's got anything. Well, it mentions a Cadillac CTS for redesigned for 2014, Kia Optima 2016, 20. I'm looking for a date on any of these cars.
Because, I mean, it does talk about the 2016 and being redesigned, so it's got to be newer with the 6th gen.
But I wonder about this. There's no way to tell.
Nope.
It came across in my feed, and of course, what's the first thing I do? Look for a car that I know.
Well, if it came across in your feed, then it's a newer article. Maybe
they're hurting for, I don't know. Let me see what number 1 is. See if that's anything remotely. Wow, I am really surprised at number 1.
What's number 1?
The Toyota Tacoma. Anyway, no, I think they're saying the number 1. It's number 1 for resale value. It retained after 3 years. It retained 71%. So then the worst one, the absolute worst one of all, is my dog barking. I don't understand this article. Chris, can you just link it up in the show notes? I'd like to hear everybody else's thoughts on this.
Yeah. So look at the Buick Regal. Interesting. Well, it's interesting to look through.
I guess, but it doesn't have the credibility that I thought it had when I realized that it's hard. It says there's 52 of them, but I can only find there's 52 pages, but I can only find 21 vehicles.
Oh, okay.
I'm just absolutely confused on that. So, anyway, you guys, you know what? I'll leave it up to you. It's not my opinion. I don't agree that it's. I don't know. The numbers don't lie, but I don't see why it loses its retail value anyway. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So anyway, never mind. Forget about it. Next month's episode, what do you want to hear us talk about? Hopefully, we'll have some new Camaro news, maybe some new Hummer news.
Hopefully, the world will start going back to work and see some semblance of normality with light more at the end of the tunnel. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we went to monthly. Do you think that the world's gotten better since the last episode we did?
I hope so. I really do.
It's hard to say. I'm
know.
looking for glimmers of positivity.
Yeah.
But a lot can change in a month. It's only been, give or take, 60 days since this really started getting serious.
Yeah.
What's another 30 days?
Right.
In a month, when we do the show again, we'll see where the world is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be better. And hopefully everybody will be doing
I'm
well.
hoping. I really am. So stay safe out there, everybody. Stay home if you have to. And we'll see you next month.
All right. See you next month.
See ya. Thanks for listening to The Camaro Show.
Don't forget, drop us a voicemail at 586-486-3182.
We'll see you next week or month.
See ya.
Or month, yeah.